right, it's Wednesday, December 30th. It's about 25 till 8 a.m. in the morning, heading to Catalina. This is probably a small craft advisory.
For Coast Guard on scheduled safety marine information broadcast concerning beach hazard statement.
Yeah, beach hazard. So the weather is a bit of a shit sandwich. Today there's a small craft advisory. Tomorrow another small craft, maybe a gale warning. Thursday, so Thursday's really gonna suck. And then Friday's not looking good, and then I think it chills out this weekend. So I have a little over 980 nautical miles in for 2020, which I'm really quite happy with, especially considering the COVID lockdown and everything else. Some mechanical delays, you know, since I bought the boat. Had a couple of things I had to straighten out. The overheating issue with the recirculating pump, and had to get a new starter, and a couple of other small things. So I'm really happy to get in close to 1,000 miles, and even today, if I had to scrub, I'd still consider this to be a pretty successful year. I was really hoping to double this for 2020 and get in a couple thousand miles, so it definitely impacted my plans quite a bit. But right now it's pretty peaceful, so my plan for the moment is get out of Dodge early, which I did, and then I'm gonna start heading out. I've got all the canvas off, so I'm rigged for sailing today. I'm expecting some wind. I'm contemplating Cat Harbor at the moment. We'll see once I get out in the channel if weather starts to pick up or anything like that. If all looks good, I'll probably continue to Cat Harbor. Don't know if I'm gonna try and anchor or moor. I think I'm inclined to do a mooring this time around, just because single-handed, I don't know if I want to deal with an anchor breaking loose in the middle of the night. All right, jet skis. Way too cold for that shit. Look up way in the distance, you can see a little bit of snow on top of the mountain peaks back there. Look at this, I can't see shit. Well, I can, but the sun is bright.
This is Coast Guard Center, Los Angeles. Urgent Marine Weather Message, National Weather Service, Los Angeles, officer in California. In the waters from Point Good to San Pedro, Plain, California, including Santa Catalina and the Cap Islands. Small craft advisory now in effect until 3 a.m. Friday.
All right. I rigged the lamest preventer in the world. I got tired of just not enough wind to keep the main from bouncing around. I'm seeing about almost 6 knots of apparent at about 60 degrees, kind of headed that way. And main's bouncing around a little bit. So to keep this boom from bouncing around, I rigged a little bit of a preventer. That's not how you rig a preventer. About 10 till 9. We're in the northbound shipping lane right now. Not much action going on. Shipping lanes are clear on AIS. Clear view to the island, visibility is excellent. Got a pair of inbound bogies here. 3 of them, at least. Or not. Kind of surfing in the waves there. Here's one. Dolphins here. Okay, so I've got about 6.5 miles to the northwest end before I turn the corner. Oh, there's sailboats out their main out, heading somewhere. Then if I look straight out here way in the distance, I can see Santa Barbara Island. I can see a little saddleback with a couple of humps there. Surrounded by dolphins charging over. Dolphins are everywhere today. I love it. Down there. Just hit 1,000 nautical miles for 2020, which isn't impressive by most standards. People that aren't weekend warriors and working 60 hours a week, but shit, I'll take it considering COVID and everything else. Right about the time I hit that milestone for this year. Look at these guys. Alright, done filming the dolphins. I'm just gonna enjoy him by myself. Around 10 till noon, we are at the west end, Catalina. You see Eagle Rock over there. Some sea lions sunbathing there. Feet sticking out of the water, or fins, or whatever you call them. There's sailing vessel Tritea. Almost caught up with them. Beat me by a little bit. Had a little head start. I've got a little more waterline length, but pretty chill passage over. Okay, but on a mooring at Wells Beach here in Cat Harbor. I'm pretty lucky the wind changed directions. It was coming from 2 harbors from the isthmus over there, and tell you what, I don't think there's much worse trying to pick up when you're single-handed with the tailwind, which is what happened. So I knew exactly what I wanted to do and had my plan, but execution was a little less than perfect. I think I left my GoPro mount for my other GoPro at home, so you're not going to get any fantastic B-roll footage of me clowning around, but I'll talk a little bit about what happened. So the situation is, you have to, there's these wands in front of the mooring ball. You pick up that wand, and it has a line going to the mooring ball. You pull that up, and there's another line that goes down to like a loop that you put over your bow cleat, and then there's another line attached to that loop that runs all the way aft to another line that you pick up, which is this. So this is the sand line here, this little line, and that actually runs, there's weights on it that keep it weighted underwater, and then you've got this mooring line. Now, because of the wind, I think I'll probably have to switch sides, but I can deal with that later. But the challenge is one, slow down the boat enough so you don't get any steerage unless the boat's moving, really. Slow down the boat enough to grab the wand, throw the wand on, and then but have the boat moving slow enough for ideally close to stopped before you so that you don't keep running forward, and that you can grab the line and come back. And actually what was happening with me was that because I was coming in this way, the wind was blowing my stern kind of alongside those moorings. So the first time I tried, I came in too hot, and I just did another loop. The second time I came in, I got the I got the bow cleat on perfectly, but then I was pointed with my ass back out this way. So I know in this boat, the stern gets a little bit of prop walk. It's got a V drive, so it actually walks to starboard. So what I did was, one, I double checked all of the mooring lines and made sure I wasn't sitting on top of any, because that's how you get a fouled prop, and that's that can do a lot of damage, both to the mooring lines but also to your prop and everything, and disable you. So it's pretty careful with that. But I was hooked on, and I just kind of kept it in reverse, gently. I didn't want to pull on the mooring too hard, and slowly but surely the ass end started coming over to starboard, and then the wind shifted a little bit, which made it a little bit easier. About 6:15. Sun went down a little while ago. It's starting to cool off outside. Of course, my dumb ass is still wearing shorts, but you hear that fan blowing in the background. That's an Aspire diesel heater. So there's a vent here right by the nav station, and then if I go forward, right by this hanging locker, let's try that. There's another vent right down here, right in front of the head. And then there is another one back in the aft cabin right here. Can't see it, it's dark back there, but that's pretty cool. No idea how much electricity it burns, because this thing is not seem to be wired through the power meter for some reason. So what's it say? It says I've got a negative 10 amp draw. Maybe it is, but fridge is on as well. I don't know if the compressor's running. So that's quite a bit to burn for one night. Of course, it's not running all the time, but and also I'm a little reluctant to have it run while I'm sleeping at night. So what I'll do is I'll keep it warm before I'm going to bed, and then I've got an extra sleeping bag. I'll throw that back there, so I'll be bundled up a little bit better, since it is almost January. And then when I get up and I have my coffee in the morning, crank it on again so it's nice and toasty. When I get up, have my coffee, I'm nice and warm and everything, and have my chill time before I get started. And then by then I'm moving around and pretty warm anyway, so it doesn't really matter. 5:50 a.m. and it's quiet at the moment, but the gusts have started. So it's Friday, New Year's Eve. What is it? I don't know. 9:15 a.m. And I'm just kind of watching, listening to the wind. Not too bad. It's blowing around 18. I saw 25 a little bit earlier. It was kind of gusty, so it's kind of all over the place. Bounce between like 10, 25 knots. Probably gusted a little higher than that. I just wasn't watching. I didn't have the instruments turned on. All right, we're seeing 20 to 25 knots now. Other than that, it's really quiet here in the harbor. Not much going on other than the noise from the wind, which is loud enough, I guess. Happy New Year's. It's what is it, Friday? Yeah. So it's about 8 a.m. I've been contemplating whether to head back today or head back tomorrow. It's kind of inclined to head back today. It's really just kind of watching the weather. So it's kind of odd, because the small craft advisory here actually lifts at noon, but the conditions aren't too bad. All right, just a hair before 9:30. I'll fire up the engine here pretty soon and head out. Got our pin here, the line. So what we'll do is we'll drop the bow first, and then I expect the wind to push our bow over a little bit over to starboard. Then we'll drop the stern line Now I've just got a loop, so I've got this single line kind of doubled as a little bit of a painter through the mooring line. So just got it through that loop. So all I really need to do is just pull one side of the line and pull it all the way through, and it'll just drop. It'll be pretty convenient. Biggest thing I have to make sure is I don't have any of these lines dangling when I'm taking off, so I don't get anything wrapped. The other thing when I drop the bow is I'll take a look at the sand line. Looks like it's dropped pretty good here, but I want to make sure I don't get caught up when I drop the stern. So always check that out. Let's see how it looks on the stern. Hopefully this isn't an issue. I'm not sure how I got this line so twisted on the stern line, but a similar deal. I think that'll come loose well enough. Hopefully not too much of an issue there. So the bow's loose, and we've got the pin just to port. So we should be able to stay to port of this. The wind coming off port quarter here. We'll see how it goes. We'll go ahead and throw off the stern line. Pretty smooth off the mooring. Sailor James and Camille on Tritea. Out on the hook. It's like a little easier morning than yesterday. It's 9:45. We're off. A stunningly beautiful day today. Still got this north wind, so for like a good hour this wind holds up. You can actually put the sails up and sail along the backside, and when we turn around the west end and start to head north, we may be there a little bit early before the wind shifts, so we might wind up with some stuff on the nose. But I'm hoping to get a little bit of sailing in today, and the winds definitely aren't too rough yet. So we'll just play by ear and see what happens when we get out of the lee of the island here. All right, we're rolling with just a hair under 15 coming off the starboard beam, just barely aft of us. So we're on a reach right now. We're doing 6.5, 7 knots pretty consistently here. I've just got up a full main and the staysail. I was gonna go full canvas, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and go conservative. I love the boat speed I've got right now, and it's one less thing to mess with. The winds die down a little bit or whatever, I can always shift, but it makes it a little easier for me if I need to shorten sail or anything like that. It's this kind of high cut Yankee head sail, and when you get into winds above 15 knots, the sheets as you're rolling it up, you got to be careful because those things can just whip around. They can take your head off. Put a little more tension on the hydraulic backstay. All right, we're seeing over 20. A little bit of a gust, and we're back into the mid to high teens. I saw 22. That sailboat up in front of us, they've been motoring about the same speed, so they're motoring pretty quickly. I don't know why they don't have their sails up. this nice beam reach. See Santa Barbara there in the distance pretty clearly. At least I can. Holy shit, just saw a gray whale pop up right over here somewhere. Where is he? He just went down. He's heading this way. I don't know if I'm going to see him or not. Right, first whale sighting of the year, first sail of the year. I'll take it. And we've got about 22 knots of wind at the moment. We are rolling around at 7.7 knots through the water. That's real speed, that's not GPS. And I'm about to turn right into this shit. And we're doing 8 knots through the water now. Fuck. I really don't want to motor into this. Kind of see why they call it bashing. We're making pretty good time. We're headed straight upwind, but once we got around the island, the wind kind of died, so I'm seeing 8.8 apparent, which we're doing almost 6 knots. So the wind kind of just died once we got around the island. Whatever, I screwed around quite a bit, and actually I guess I only have it set up for 2 reefs, not the 3rd reef. You know, it doesn't matter, even like it's not single line, but I guess it's not slab, because there's a line for the tack and a line for the clue. So if you see these quad rope clutches there in between the 2 winches, the blue ones are for the 1st reef and the red ones are for the 2nd. So the white and red speckled is the tack, and that's what pulls down the tack alongside the mast, and then the darker red one with the white flakes is for the clue, and that's what kind of pulls it back. I need to fix this. That's not a good arrangement. I need to tie that up proper. It's not an ideal reefing. I always wind up, even with all this, I've had single line reefing in the past. I hate it because you always wind up going up to the mast for something, or up to the boom. I went up to the boom because I was trying to figure out what was going on with the topping lift, which I needed to loosen to get the boom down, and it's got to come down lower because the boom sits lower typically when I'm reefed in. And I had to screw around with that, and actually found there was a There's an asshole, there was a knot, which I think a stopper knot, and I had to move it back quite a bit to give it some slack, so I'm not sure what was going on there. Just need to practice reefing a little bit more. So I don't need the reef because of the wind conditions, other than, you know, if you're motoring or using the main for a steadying sail, you'll actually get better speed and better economy if you reef your main down, and less wear and tear on your main as well, so it's not, you know, flogging around and everything like that. I think this main's got a couple of full battens. Maybe it's all full battened. Dolphins hopping out of the water here, and it's like a Coast Guard patrol boat. Coast Guard behind me just saw the boat name. I'm sure they're going, holy shit, that's Keel Dragger. We'll see if they stop by for an autograph. Hopefully not on a ticket. Still got these dolphins. About 10 till noon. Pretty chill out. There's no wind, so it's pretty dead. I'm still got the reef mainsail up and we're motor sailing. Really, we're motoring with the reef main up. So the wind shifted and we're getting it from northwest, but it's still single digits. It's pretty light. And we are motor sailing, so I shook out the reef and the main, and we're flying full canvas. We've got the head sail, staysail, and the main all up. Check this out. It's about almost 2 p.m. We've got a hair under 6 miles to go before we get to Angel's Gate. And we are just sailing with the engine cut, doing 4.5 to 5 knots. Closer to 5 knots average, I would say. Just kind of ghosting along, but the wind's nice. I'm still seeing about just a hair under 9 apparent, so it's enough to move us along comfortably. Yeah, we only had a couple, down about 2 knots, and wind's pretty much dead at this point, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap things up. We are a little bit less than 4 miles from Angel's Gate. You can see the lighthouse there pretty easily. All right, 20 past 3, and we're just getting back into LA Harbor. Queen's Gate. Always a little breeze coming in. A few sailboats out, enjoying New Year's Day. Try and get out of their way. Next for me is to run a couple of temporary lines to tie up to the dock and kick the fenders over as I'm coming in. And hopefully have an easy tie-up.